can't believe that they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, up them, Dave, why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation? Because the master over there might be nicer. My God, man, I was trapped. You know what? Tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. Well, but if I do...
Elon Musk and 50 Cent just dropped a truth bomb that's shaking the industry. Diddy isn't the boss, he's a distraction. The real power behind the scenes makes the Epstein list look like child's play. If you thought Diddy was the final boss, you've been looking in the wrong direction. Elon isn't just talking anymore. He's allegedly teaming up with 50 to expose who's really been running this empire from the shadows. While 50 talks parties and documentaries, Elon brings something far more dangerous as data, receipts, and private DMs from Twitter, now X, that could burn Hollywood to the ground. This goes beyond rappers and record labels. It reaches the very top, and 50 Cent has been warning about it for months. Buckle up, because what comes next changes everything.
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing. I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. That changes now, Sean. You have no choice. That Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly.
Before we climb this pyramid, you need to understand why Diddy's case matters far beyond hip-hop. And no, I'm not here to cover his bio, I'm covering what you actually clicked for. As we all know, 50 Cent dropped his Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, because no one else in the industry was speaking up. People were either scared, complicit, or straight up controlled, and then 50 said something that hit differently. He told the world that if he stayed silent, the entire hip-hop culture would look like it endorsed Diddy's behavior. With no one else being vocal, he had no choice but to step up.
It's like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein-type compromise deal, where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing, kids basically, and yet they still fed him kids. And like, where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be. They had
to know.
Yeah,
they had to know.
Cat Williams was talking about it on
exactly.
Yeah, on that podcast.
But like who's feeding him the kids?
Right. Yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
Yeah.
The whole thing is crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood, and you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these. You're like,
now here's where things get really dark. Diddy allegedly had 250 hidden cameras installed throughout his house. Yes, 250 cameras recording everything at those so-called freak-off parties. Industry insiders like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have claimed this wasn't just for entertainment. According to them, Diddy kept the footage as blackmail insurance. That's how he maintained power. That's how he kept people in line. Right now, those tapes are reportedly being shopped around Hollywood, and big names are said to be panicking. So why does Elon Musk's involvement change everything? Because Elon owns X, formerly Twitter. That gives him access to years of private DMs between celebrities, politicians, and industry power players. When Elon sat down with Joe Rogan, he didn't just hint at things, he called people out directly. He mentioned Jennifer Lopez, who has publicly warned people about Trump. But Elon asked the question no one else seemed willing to ask: how many people did Jay Diddy warn about Diddy? 0. Not a single warning, and she was Diddy's ex-girlfriend. Elon put it plainly, maybe her opinions shouldn't be trusted.
I want you to think about this. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who was a victim of Sean Carter. Yeah. Mary J. Blige, who was a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened, and yet they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
That statement shook the internet. Because if someone as close to Diddy as Jay Diddy never spoke up, what does that mean? Either she didn't know, which seems unlikely, or she knew and stayed silent. And if she stayed silent, the real question is, who was she protecting? Now let's climb the pyramid. Level 1 is Jay-Z and Beyonce. Surprise they're at the bottom? Just wait. Jaguar Wright went on Piers Morgan and said things about Jay-Z and Diddy the industry didn't want out. 48 hours later, the episode was gone, pulled, banned, deleted. Jaguar asked a question no one could answer: how does Jay-Z sit with Gayle King on CBS and never get asked about Aaliyah or R. Kelly? She called Jay-Z and Diddy monsters who've ruled the industry for decades. And then there's the Aaliyah conspiracy, claims that she was seen as a threat and that her death cleared the path for Beyonce's rise.
Lawsuit that's suing Tony Busby? Spiro is a partner, and Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's personal lawyer.
Oh, so it's probably Jay-Z then that's doing the suing.
Of course they'd use Kevin's name, but it ain't Kevin. Why is Alex Spiro popping up everywhere?
What do you think is going on in Hollywood right now? What are you hearing? Because I'm hearing
mass panic. Mass panic.
So because no one's talking publicly.
No, they can't. That's why they came up with the story. Well, you know, there's a party inside the Diddy party, and I went to the first party, but I left early. I never made it to Diddy After Dark. There were public relations teams right after Diddy got arrested running around telling everyone to say that.
Of course.
The question is this: if all you went to was the first party and you didn't know anything about the After Dark, why would you say I left early? Why wouldn't you just say you left when the party ended?
Exactly.
Because how would you know there was another party if you weren't informed?
Exactly.
If you went to the Diddy party and nothing happened and it was the first party, your speech wouldn't be, oh, well, I only went to the first party. I didn't go to the after party. You wouldn't say that because you wouldn't have known about it. You would say, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I went to Diddy's party. It was a white party. It was dancing. It was wild. But at the end, we all went home.
Right.
That's not what y'all are saying.
Nope.
You're saying, I didn't go to the second party. I only went to the first. The only thing you're proving is that you're hiding being there.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have known about another party.
Now, I'm not saying any of this is confirmed. But the fact that people are even talking about it, and that Jay-Z has never publicly addressed these rumors, makes the silence feel loud. Here's another wild detail. When Diddy was charged and victims began coming forward to sue him, guess whose lawyer showed up? Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's personal attorney. Spiro went on to represent some of Diddy's alleged victims, and people immediately started asking the same question: why is Jay-Z's lawyer suddenly popping up all over Diddy's case?
Next thing you know, she's f***ing Ray J. And then it's Grammy time.
That happened.
And her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
Insiders claim this is about silencing victims and controlling the narrative before more names come out. Because if Diddy starts talking, a lot of powerful people could fall, and Jay-Z allegedly doesn't want that. And you can't talk about Jay-Z's rise without mentioning Big L. Big L introduced Jay-Z to Dame Dash and helped open doors at Rockefeller Records. Talks had just begun for Big L and his crew to get a deal when Big L was killed in a drive-by shooting in Harlem. The case remains unsolved. Jaguar Wright claims his death was the first of several mysterious events tied to Jay-Z's rise. Coincidence? Maybe, but the pattern raises questions. Now we move to level 2, where things get darker: Oprah Winfrey and Clive Davis. Starting with Oprah, she was closely associated with Harvey Weinstein, publicly supporting his projects even as rumors swirled. Survivors hoped someone with her platform would speak up, but she stayed silent, leading critics to believe she protected the system. Then there's the South Africa school scandal. Oprah invested $40 million in a girls' school, but soon after opening, multiple students accused a staff member of abuse. Oprah stepped in publicly, but critics argue the full story was never addressed. The question remains, did she know more than she admitted?
What's your favorite memory working with Diddy?
You know, personally, I've got to tell you, he really is a major star in this film tonight. He's his spokesman all the way through. I met him before I ever knew of him. I met him when he was 21 years old. And when we met, you know, he played me Craig Mack Flavor in Your Ear. He played me 3 cuts from the forthcoming Notorious B.I.G. album. And we talked for hours and hours about music, and I poured into his dreams. And I financed Bad Boy Records. And we had an incredible run, an incredible period.
Old photos are resurfacing showing Oprah at the same private events where Diddy threw his infamous parties. Jaguar Wright and Dr. Umar Johnson hinted that Oprah wields quiet power in Hollywood, the kind that keeps people scared and can destroy careers with a single call. Now, Clive Davis. At 92, he's been a music industry titan since founding Arista Records in 1974, launching legends like Billy Joel, Janis Joplin, and Carlos Santana. He came out as bisexual in the 1980s. Here's where it gets messy. Hip-hop mogul Suge Knight claims Clive and Diddy were more than mentor and protege. Suge said Clive told him they were real tight, and when asked what that meant, Clive allegedly confirmed they were lovers, not just business partners.
Then in 1993, he and Clive Davis founded Bad Boy Records. Clive Davis, how do you describe Clive Davis? There's an infomercial about him now, which is a document. It's been called a documentary. And it makes him look like this benign octogenarian that's helped all these rock stars with their careers. But people in the music industry really don't like Clive Davis, most of them. And his criminality is kind of amazing.
When a reporter asked Clive about Diddy at a public event, he visibly froze and refused to answer. That reaction alone says everything.
Watch as Cat Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes, and watch as T.D. Jakes and Gino Jennings' response.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Then there's the Whitney Houston conspiracy. Many people still believe Ray J and Clive Davis were involved in her death. Whitney reportedly had a major argument with Clive just 2 days before she died, with her daughter present. Ray J was allegedly the last person to see her alive. Family members have claimed she was beaten and didn't simply drown, as the official story says. So the question remains, with decades of rumors and allegations, why has Clive Davis never been arrested or charged? Some believe Diddy is the fall guy, taking the heat while Clive stays protected in the shadows. Now we reach the top of the pyramid, and this is the name that shocks people, Bishop T.D. Jakes. A pastor. A man of God. Someone trusted by millions. 50 Cent has been hinting at him for months, posting about him repeatedly. The theory is simple: if corruption reaches the pulpit, then this blackmail ring is bigger than Epstein. Much bigger. Diddy needed legitimacy and protection, and that's allegedly where T.D. Jakes came in part 4 of 50 Cent's Diddy documentary. Clips of T.D. Jakes are strategically placed throughout the episode. When Little Rod describes waking up sore after Diddy's parties, a clip of Jakes talking about a love rampage suddenly appears. Many believe this was intentional, a message connecting the dots. As Cat Williams warned, 2024 would be the year all lies are exposed, no matter who you are.
Keep it moving. The worst that could happen if everything was true, all I got to do is repent sincerely from my heart. There's enough power in the blood to cover all kinds of sins. I don't care what it is, the blood would fix it. But I ain't got to repent about this. All I got to do.
When T.D. Jakes was confronted about the Diddy allegations, he responded, "Keep it moving. The worst that could happen, even if everything were true, all I have to do is repent. There's enough power in the blood to cover all kinds of sin. But I don't even have to repent about this."
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties: money and sex.
Cassie has turned over substantial amounts of evidence to the feds. I'm told that after Cassie had a long conversation with Blank, I have to protect this person. They're going through a lot right now. And her lawyers, she finally was convinced to give up the videotapes and audio recordings that contain footage.
The internet exploded. Many people said that response sounded guilty, because an innocent man usually denies everything. He doesn't talk about repenting, if it were true. Jaguar Wright then made explosive claims about T.D. Jakes, saying that if he was ever at a Diddy party, there were only two reasons: money or sex. She also claimed that Cassie turned over a large amount of evidence to federal investigators, allegedly including videos and audio recordings from Diddy's parties. According to those claims, the footage involves powerful politicians, artists, and entertainers doing things they never wanted the public to see.
T.D. Jakes.
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You had to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin. Drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he there to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he there to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere.
So why do you think he was going to these parties?
I think that he's going to the Diddy parties, bruh. If he's going, well, we know he's going to the Diddy parties, and I know that I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or what we told us happened at the Diddy parties. Maybe he needs to see it for himself, man. Maybe he needs to go there and really be involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they going to those parties.
Here's the disturbing part. Jaguar Wright said multiple male escorts have come forward, claiming T.D. Jakes slept with men at these parties. Even more shocking, a young man allegedly assaulted as a minor is now preparing to sue T.D. Jakes. Church insiders say his parents were paid hush money back in 2015, but now he's seeking justice on his own. Gone deal. Diddy's former bodyguard also spoke out, questioning why a religious leader would attend parties filled with drinking, fornication, and same-sex activity, unless T.D. Jakes was directly involved.
Seems like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein-type compromise deal, where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know.
Gene also claimed he's heard tapes are coming soon, and when they drop, the truth will be undeniable. No more speculation, no more theories, just hard evidence. Now connect this to something even bigger, the Epstein angle. When Elon Musk sat down with Joe Rogan, they didn't just talk about Diddy. They talked about why so many billionaires are backing Kamala Harris. According to Elon, it's not about policy, it's panic. If Trump wins, the Epstein client list could be unsealed, exposing some of the most powerful names in the world. When Rogan asked Elon if LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman seemed uncomfortable, Elon answered with just one word, yes. Joe Rogan compared Diddy's operation to Epstein's, both allegedly filmed powerful people for blackmail. The big question, who supplied Diddy with young people, and how many names are on those tapes? Even Melinda Gates hinted at the darkness, leaving Bill Gates over his Epstein connection. Dave Chappelle also warned us, the entertainment industry is a monster. Why run from one plantation to another? You're still a slave, he said. If someone like Chappelle felt trapped, imagine everyone else that this story isn't over. More names will fall, more tapes may surface. So, is T.D. Jakes really at the top, or is there an even bigger name we haven't seen yet?